Good morning. I'm here with Chris Giovino from Dempsey Partners. How are you this morning?
I'm great, thanks.
Great. Well, thank you very much for taking time to meet with ILStv today. I understand you were involved in quite an interesting case involving Martin Tremblay, a notorious money launderer here in Canada. I understand he's out of jail now and is making things a little bit messy for the RCMP. Can you just tell us a little bit about your involvement in the case and why it might be particularly of interest to Canadians?
Sure. Back in from the year 2000 through 2007, I was the special agent in charge, the chief of the organized crime strike force in New York, and Martin Tremblay came on our radar scope as at the time, a suspected money launderer. We spent a considerable amount of time and effort in vetting that issue out with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, who are our partners in the investigation, who provided us with significant, credible, and very good intelligence that helped us create a proactive law enforcement investigation into Mr. Tremblay. Proactive meaning that we investigated him in a very unusual way. We did it through an undercover operation where my agents and my officers from various agencies such as the DEA, the FBI, the Internal Revenue Service, Customs and Immigration, New York City Police, as a team got together and pretended to be a drug money launderer, drug dealer actually, who needed a way to get money from drug trafficking offshore, hidden into accounts. And in exchange for that, we met with Mr. Tremblay and his associates, and he agreed to do that. It was videotaped. All of our meetings were videotaped. They all happened in the United States. And on the last meeting, the date of which I cannot remember at this time, we arrested Mr. Tremblay as a result of his complicity. We prosecuted him. He did not go to trial. He chose to plead guilty. He said, "I did it." He said, "I am guilty. I should go to jail." He went to jail. I believe he paid a fine. I realized that in the time he's been in prison that he has pretended or portended to be innocent, even though he said I was guilty, and he represented himself throughout the time he was in prison. He has recently been released. He did his time. I understand he's gone back to Canada. He is a Canadian citizen, and I also understand that he may be bringing some actions against your government, to include the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. I heard through CBC, through some reporters, that the issues were that he's alleging that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police should never have shared intelligence with the U.S. government, and that the information that they shared was somehow libelous, which I find amusing, because he is a convicted federal felon in this country. So that's what we did.
Right. Now, have investigative processes or techniques changed because of this case moving forward?
Great question. Sometimes we make mistakes in our investigations. We learn from them, and we actually use those as lessons to train new agents, young agents, to do their jobs better. This was one of those occasions where it was textbook, where everything that my agents and my officers did was absolutely perfect. It was all according to the law. It had an incredible result. It took one of the world's largest drug money launderers off the street and put him in prison where he belonged. To the extent that we learned anything from that, we did actually. It was all good. I'm proud to say that. And so that investigation was done so well that we use it in further training at our Quantico facilities for new agents coming.
Well, it sounds like a very interesting case, and obviously the outcome that everyone was looking for in the end, to some degree.
Except for Mr. Tremblay.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it, and have a great conference.
Thank you so much.